Well, we're playing Morning by Al Jarreau this morning, but good afternoon, everybody. Charlamagne Armstrong, the host of Speaking Facts in 15, and my co-host, my dad, and our special guest, Corey. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all give y'all awesome introductions this afternoon, not morning.
This morning noon.
Morning noon, right?
Morning
It's
noon.
morning
Yeah,
earlier.
we'll just merge that. But yeah, I'm J.R. Stewart. I'm co-hosting with my beautiful daughter Charlamagne, and we got Corey Fike with us again this week. Corey brought so much to the show last week. We had to do a repeat. What's up, Corey?
Appreciate you. Thank you guys for having me once again. Just loving, like I said, the very good vibes in this room. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Yes, awesome. We're excited to have you. You bring a wealth of knowledge and again the conversation last week was fluid and we actually had to cut it off. It was going so well.
Yeah.
And so that's why we decided to do this part two and just dive deeper into how music heals and how we can use it as a community and as a people to be happier. So, Dad, you had sent some interesting stuff that you had researched. So,
Well, yeah, I did, and I just wanted to start by just telling everybody that what we're talking about is really based. I just want to talk about the base, the foundation or the base for just a second. Our bodies, and we haven't mentioned this so far, I don't think, but our bodies are only over 90% water. That's just a fact. So if you take away all the chemicals and a few binding agents, we would just be a puddle of water. Now, if you take water, you can manipulate sound in various ways by using manipulate water in various ways using sound. So I just wanted everyone in advance to know as we talk about this stuff over the coming few weeks that that we're not talking about something that's just out there in the universe and we're just not speculating. This is something that people are doing now, and people
research.
have done
Lots of
for
research
thousands
behind
of
it.
years.
Lots of documentation.
Yeah, people are doing it now, and they've done it for thousands of years. So, Corey, you got anything to just to kind of add to the concept of sound and healing and how far back it goes? And
I actually sent Charlamagne some links. I was doing a little bit of research on the subject last night, and I came across a bunch of YouTube videos on experiments with sound waves. Basically, they were working with sound waves and and sand, basically. And it was really, I don't know. I should have sent you this information as well, Juan. That way you could have some context to go by. But it's very interesting. Like the video was displaying, showing basically how certain frequencies, definitely once you get into like the 3,000 hertz range, you can actually produce actual designs. The waves will actually produce some really unique designs. And different frequencies produce different designs when they actually play them through within these experiments. So.
And megahertz again, because again, y'all told me last week, I know, but for somebody new tuning in, what is that?
Hertz, megahertz, they're just frequencies. Waves.
Hertz, megahertz, gigahertz, they're different different definitions for frequencies. And usually hertz are lower, whereas the megahertz and the gigahertz are higher frequencies. So
Good. So, and again, I just, I'm learning. We do this, you guys, for those who are tuning in, we do this to bring on information, but through this, we're learning as well. So I feel like every day that I could learn something, I'm a better person. And then the purpose of this show, again, is to create generational growth. So hopefully the things that you learn in this platform, that you can apply it in your life and make it better. And of course, share that information to someone else and help them do it better. So one of the things I saw earlier today, it says do or do not, but if you do not, then there's no lesson.
right.
You can't master anything.
Right.
So
Right.
we're definitely in this platform trying to do not, and through it being able to master some things and teach you guys how to master some things as well.
Yeah, and we're doing this just with the passion that we there are so many techniques and ways that we can have healthier, happier lives, and just looking outside the norm of just getting a pain and popping a pill.
Right.
That mentality is killing us. I have a dear friend in California. I mentioned him. I won't mention his name, but he's going to be on dialysis the rest of his life, and it's really from taking too much Tylenol. too much of the NSAID pain relief.
Well, we can't say too much of that pill for a
well,
headache.
yeah, I shouldn't have said Tylenol. I apologize. But too many NSAID. That's why I changed it to NSAID pain relievers. Because Tylenol is just a brand name. So anyone listening that works for Tylenol, we apologize. I rescind that.
We didn't mean it. We
didn't mean it.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying too many NSAID those pain relievers. They have shut down his kidneys and they have failed. So again, that's why we're just asking people to step outside the box a little bit and just you have to be able to conceive something, and then you have to be able to believe what you have conceived in order to achieve it. So.
And so, with that being said, what we want to talk to y'all about today, we're gonna call y'all the Speaking Facts in 15 family is how music heals. And how that's where things started. And again, not all medicine is bad. Just so everybody knows, medicines has to excrete through your kidneys or through your liver, so it has to come out one way. But we're talking about ways that you can definitely protect yourself and maybe do some holistic approaches that, that has been around for a very long time. Again, we're not saying that westernized medicine is all bad. It's not,
No, nothing is all bad, but you have to examine for yourself what is righteous. Okay, as Jesus told the Pharisees, examine for yourself what works for you. But yeah, we looked at some instruments that have been used in healing over throughout our history. I came across some interesting ones. In fact, there was a list of several that I had come across, but one of them that I thought was fascinating was I think the original Aborigine name was Yidaki, Yidaki, but it has, I think the common name for it is the didgeridoo, Didri.
I'm glad you pronounced it, because if I did, I was going to tear it up.
Yeah, didgeridoo. And the didgeridoo is an instrument. It's a wind instrument. You blow into it, and I wish I wanted to try to get a picture to show you guys, but my printer says
you didn't get one off of Amazon. You didn't get one off of Amazon?
I did. I sent them to you guys, but my printer needs ink, so I was going to print it.
I'm saying you need to order you one. No.
Yeah, I plan to. I actually plan to.
I don't think Amazon got those though. I don't think. I don't think you can find that on
Amazon. eBay.
But the ones that you get today are probably made in a factory. But the original didgeridoo was made out of hollowed out tree branches and things. So they were made out of wood. They're about 30 to 36 inches long. They're really wavy again because they were made out of trees, and you would blow into it, and the other end this low pitched sound. Like this, you can change the pitch of that depending on how you hold your lips, but a sound comes out of the other end. And what I thought was fascinating about the didgeridoo was that it has been used to even mend broken bones. It's one of the oldest instruments, healing instruments, especially around. It's been I said it is Australian by origin. It's been around over 40,000 years, and like I said, today people still play them as a musical instrument. But again, it's just how different frequencies heal and open up different things. Charlamagne, you and I were talking about the gong and the singing bowl that you rub around the you can see my hand, there you go, that you rub around the edge, and it creates a frequency tone. There's Corey, is any that has caught your eye?
No, we were actually discussing the bowl, and I was telling Charlamagne we definitely got to get her one.
That's right. So I can manifest and create that frequency to pull all the positive vibes. Make sure everyone kiss wells now.
That's right. Say kiss wells now. And another thing to what we're talking about is that is just the faith that these bodies can heal. Everything we do that is anything meaningful is done through faith. Like I said, you have to be able to conceive something to do it, and then believing it. That's the faith part. If you can conceive it and believe it, then the achievement part is almost a foregone conclusion. But I was just looking at some Bible verses that talked about healing. Some one that just said a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones, and that's in Proverbs. And just having, as far as just being healthy and healing, having having a cheerful heart. We've talked about that in the first few couple of episodes talking about this, but just how negative thoughts create negative endorphins in your body. That heavy heart, that crushed spirit, it creates things in your body that create unhealthy conditions.
Correct. Meaning, if you go to, and there's kind of the old sayings, don't go to bed angry, don't go to bed upset, because you are not able to sleep. Your body's not able to get its best rest. It's going to create restlessness, amongst other things. So keeping that, that heart, and things happen. I saw this lady was going through, and it's just like, we've got to understand that things happen, but there's always the other side, and they say trouble doesn't last always. So knowing that it will be okay, and through these things, we strive to make sure that we become stronger. That's the point. And so the music that we listen to, especially if it is cheerful, if it's inspiring, is letting you know that, hey, the sun does shine, then it's going to help carry you through.
Yes. And I would, and I may be opening a can of worms by saying this, but I think the can of worms probably needs to be open just for this is open forum discussion. But
just open and shut it.
Yes. but you can almost track the more violent that music has gotten in our society, the more violence is enacted in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to stay away from blaming hip hop for the violence in the streets today. You know what I'm saying? Because hip hop is merely a genre of music, but the content,
it's a culture, even
right. But the content of it, I see a lot of advertisements on television saying, depicting Black culture as, people who are messing around outside their marriages, people who will kill you at the drop of a hat, people who would rather who would rather fight you than get an understanding with you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's depicted through these shows, and they're calling it Black culture. And I would argue that point. We are the originators of peaceful living. If you look back at our history, the religious traditions that we have practiced over the years are all about peace. They're all about peace. So yeah, I think we need to define our culture. Let our culture define our music instead of our music defining our culture. It's kind of gotten to this place where our music is the music that is being listened to is defining our culture, and so much of it is violent that violence is being expressed, in the streets.
Right, it's being emulated in forms that it should not be.
Yeah.
So of course we're talking about it, and it's subjective conversation, but how, if we are, again, I talked about this last week, I think it's going to take the parents sitting down with their kids and saying, hey, listen to this with me. I had a meeting with my son's teachers today. Right now he has all A's and B's. And
my grandson.
Yes. And transparency, he does have dyslexia, and he's had to learn how to learn with dyslexia. But I've definitely been a supportive parent in his journey, in his education, to make sure that he can succeed. And so one of the things that, they talked about today was, just the improvement, and I kind of laughed and said, my kids are kind of said, well, there were certain things that you didn't let us watch, and Dad, there were certain things that you didn't let us watch.
Hey, I was about to say,
just can't give everything to the kids all at once. You got to ease them into it, and to recognize what maturity means. Meaning, I may look a certain way, but I can't process it, I can't comprehend it, I can't digest it, the proper way if I'm giving it all too soon. So I feel like music, if it's not of the healing nature, not to get off topic, but if the music is not of the healing nature, then we need to make sure that we're explaining that this is not your reality. If it is that hardcore, because there's certain songs, I'll be honest, if I'm working out, I'm in a zone, I'm trying to get through. But I also know that when I'm done working out, I'm not going to go run into a brick wall and I'm not going to go rob the store. I mean, so, but I'm mature enough to understand what I'm listening to this for,
Right. Yeah.
So,
And you have decided to be an influencer instead of someone who is influenced, and that, having your own mindset it definitely helps. Yeah. But to what you said, I've never allowed music with violent lyrics to be played in my house. My daughter would tell you that, and although your brother is not on the show with us today, he would tell you, because you're the oldest, but he had a younger sister. So
right.
I did not allow him and his brother to, like I said, I think hip hop is a awesome genre. As far as being a rapper, I wouldn't call myself a rapper. I don't think I would do it very well. So I have to respect anything that I can't do well,
Right.
But and there are some rap songs with lyrics that I think are just awesome, edifying, but I would not allow your brothers to listen to violent rap music in the house. And I would not allow TJ, your brother, to walk around with his pants sagging down where a certain anatomy was showing in front of his sister. I would not allow those things.
Correct.
And I was telling them that I was teaching them to respect my house, so that when they got one, they would respect their house. That's the thing I told you. So
Right.
yeah, but you want to have it. If you want to express love, you have to be fed from an environment of love, and in order to sustain love, we have to be healed. On the inside, we have to be healed, and this is where music and sound helps us do that. Helps us do it. It relieves so much stress, so much anxiety, and stress and anxiety are again, the ancient African cultures believe that every form of illness known to man starts from stress. Stress, stressing out cells, and a stress cell becoming cancerous, or a stress cell becoming this or becoming that. So Corey,
no, I'm not. I love what I'm hearing once again. The sounds, right? Yeah, and I do want to kind of echo this again. Like, yeah, it's music, right? It's just music. That's what we're thinking, right? But we're actually talking about these vibrations, these waves, and the impact that they actually have on human beings. So it's not really just music. You got to think, like, if you go out into nature or to the ocean, you're constantly being bombarded with these vibrations, with these frequencies, and unknowingly, I do remember, like, some of my best moments in having to retreat or going on vacation is just being out in the wilderness, in the woods, and just taking in those sounds, right? So yeah, we are talking about different music that does provide different. It does invoke different emotions, right? But as far as the real healing, we do want to be able to kind of identify, like, on both sides of the spectrum, maybe what is a good vibration and what's something that's bad, right? Now, here's what I'm gonna say as far as the rap music is concerned. A lot of rappers have done this, right? And what I'm finding out, though, is that they can take something wholesome, like, let's say something from the Isley Brothers, right?
Right.
And then mix that into like a gangster rap type of scenario where the lyrics themselves are actually just problematic, super dangerous, very life-threatening. Either it could be degrading women or degrading yourself in some type of way. So that would be actually, like, I'm curious about your guys' thought on that. Like, yeah, if we took this wholesome vibrations and we embedded some, kind of wickedness, some overtones of unrighteousnness. Let's just say that.
Right.
Well, what might be the effects? What are you going to get from that?
Right.
I was watching someone's podcast the other day, and there was 3 people on this podcast, like the 3 of us, but one of them was a female, and I think she was the co-host, but the host kept referring to women in general with the B word. And I thought it was interesting that this host was doing this and the female host wasn't objecting. I thought that was, it speaks to the damage that that music, and not just music, but music, literature, things with negative, with violent, content that does not, it just allows a person to say what's on their mind, but it doesn't edify the people that are listening to it or reading to it. It doesn't uplift them.
Right.
It just says, yeah, and I'm gonna do this, and if somebody bother me, and he's a, but yeah. it's not edifying. It's not giving peace to the spirit. Like that lyric, like that verse I read, in Proverbs 17:22. A crushed spirit, dries up the bones. So I can't see any being bombarded with information that is of a negative nature, leading to someone doing something positive. And you talked about being in the woods, Corey. I guess that's possible, but I've never heard of someone going out into nature, spending a few hours in nature, and then said, "Okay, let me grab a gun and go shoot up a school right after."
No, right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you probably wouldn't. You probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
So.
And so, but I think again, with the sounds of and hearing the B word over and over again, because they'll say it on TV. I feel like it's kind of the younger generation. They don't take offense to it as much, because again, if you're not directly, you could be calling me that, but I'm not going to answer it, or you could be talking about someone else and you're not talking about me, so it's not offensive. Whereas it should be, but how do we auto correct, and that's the thing, I think we've gotten away from that auto correcting, because people can say what they want within the music. They can say what they want within a sentence, or put it out there, is let's just go rogue. But the inferences, I mean, I don't know, I feel like it's definitely hard, but I guess that's the trap. If with anything, if they take something that's soft and beautiful and add something to it, then it becomes theirs, but it's still not the original. And right. Even if it is negative, they can use the sweet spot to get people to say, hey, because I know I've gotten caught into that, where they'll take a bass line that is just amazing, and I'll love that, but I don't love the words, right, but right. I'm listening to
they got ways to make you listen to it though, right?
Yeah.
They got ways to reel you in.
Yeah, because I'm loving the bass line,
right.
And so I think, again, it just goes back to just telling people and just using this platform, talking to our kids and just saying, hey, understand this. So we're getting close to the end, but yeah. What is the frequency that is considered to be positive? What is it what is that vibration that we're supposed to be on?
Then you say you had some info on that, Corey, on frequencies, and
I mean, to be honest, though, there's multiple different frequencies. There's not one lock stop, and that's going to be it, right? And that's where I really was bringing up the whole point about, if I take something with frequencies that are normally producing positive results, and I blend that with something that's also negative, right? What would I have? What would I end up with?
Right.
Exactly.
Well, I'm asking you guys, what would I end up
with? Well, okay, because I thought you were making a statement. Say that again. I'm sorry. Say it again.
So on, like I use the analogy, like saying like something from the Isley Brothers, and then I embed that with something that's unrighteous, right?
Yes.
A song that was taken, it could have been something about love and just cherishing people, and it was something super uplifting, and then I mixed this and blended. I took out the vocals, right? Still gave you the music, the vibrations, right. And then embedded something that was non-righteous within that.
Right.
What do I have now? What do I have?
Well, and I think that we still have to try to, when we communicate, we have to have a point. We should have a point. We shouldn't just be communicating. We should have a point to our communication. And taking the Isley Brothers that you were saying, I think it's a song, Footsteps in the Dark, that Q turned into Today is a Good Day.
Right.
Like Today is a Good Day is one of those songs where it speaks of the violence and things in the neighborhood, but it doesn't uplift it. It's actually saying none of that stuff happened, so today's a good day.
Right.
You know,
Right.
So it's a form of manipulation, is what I'm really getting at. This is a form of just being manipulated by those vibrations, by those waves, by those sounds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And to answer your question a little more succinctly, Charlie, I was just looking. It says that sound waves with 528 hertz in 100 decibel intensity induce testosterone production in the brain. So that's just and in fact, maybe our next conversation we should discuss some more of those frequencies so that people listening can maybe go out and get a singing bowl that creates that frequency, or a gong that creates that frequency, or or one of those other instruments.
Right. So we got a couple of comments. Kimmy said we were talking about just the language, and she just said yes, it becomes the norm. Carla says right. So yes, you guys, thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all watching the show and giving us feedback, because this is what we're trying to do, is just open up conversations that are not being had. And music is definitely one of the things that we take for granted. It's there, but how many of us really know that it is healing and that it has healing properties? And there's certain frequencies that is embedded into these sounds. Like going back to the forest, like you were talking about, hearing the birds chirp, or hearing the water against the rocks, or
hearing a river flowing, and
and all those things are soothing, and there is channels that talks about and has different, I shouldn't say talk, there are channels that have different sounds to help you sleep, or to help you to help you accomplish your goals. So we definitely need to make sure that people understand that when they're frustrated, or when they're sad, or they're not sleeping well, that there is an option. I know that people hear about melatonin, like, go ahead and take me a melatonin, but maybe go ahead and relax your spirit, relax your soul, relax your mind, so you can get to that realm that you need to get to through sound.
Yeah. Sound helps us sleep a lot. Have you ever used any sound to help you sleep, Corey?
Yeah, music. Yeah. I mean, every now and then I might plan some storm or some rainy stuff. Ironically, though, that does not put me to sleep like I would hope it would. Right? It doesn't relax me like I would hope it would. Anita Baker does it though for me. Sade, a little bit of Sade. She can definitely put me to sleep. She can definitely get me right where I need to be. So,
well, y'all, I have to, if I put on some soothing music, the music that makes me happy, I'm singing like I'm not sleeping. I can have a little, I have a funny story. I actually went to sleep. There was nothing playing, but when I woke up, there was thunderstorms and just that rain going on. And I was like, when I went to sleep, they didn't say it was supposed to be raining or storming or nothing. I was like, I wonder where that came from. I had no clue. It was that it was playing on Alexa, right? So I'm like, okay, so but y'all, we've had a fabulous time. We got a couple minutes left. I don't want to go over 30, because matter of fact, the show is called Speaking Facts in 15
and it's ish. That's right. 15-ish. That's right.
Right. But again, it's good, and learning about these megahertz, and y'all can talk about music much better than I can. I just know I listen to it. The science behind it is definitely y'all's. Y'all can explain it better than I can. But I feel like again, this is something that is positive that we're doing, and we're bringing light to how people can help one another through another way.
Yeah. And I just want to encourage people to, like I said, just try things other than just automatically taking something to turn off your pain, because there's so much out there, so many options out there for healing that are better for the body than just taking medicines full of chemicals.
Thank you for not saying any company names. No.
Yes. They were like, all right, we let you get away with it first time. I guess we need a censor, huh?
And Paul says, Love. He goes, I love y'all family. So thank you for tuning in, Paul. So yeah, so with that being said, y'all, we're gonna be back at this again. And for the audience, if there's something that y'all want to specifically talk about or even share a song, a sound that helps you relax and
Yeah,
you know,
talking
or
about how
a
music
song
helps
that
you.
motivates you, you know, please share with us because that's what this is about. We want to learn from one another. In this environment. So technically, I'll say it won't be any fake news, right? You know, we won't be watching something that says you need to do this, but we're actually saying and taking from our roots and taking from the things that we know have worked for generations and bringing it together. Because you think about, and I'm gonna go off topic again, I apologize, but you think about grandma and grandpa who worked, let's say, you know, 60 years, and then their children who worked 60, and then us as adults working as another 60. You know, if you take a couple of generations forward, you can have 270 years of work, 270 years of life. So with that, somebody had to learn something because your family could not have existed over all this time and not have something to help them survive. So we know music is one of them. We know faith is definitely, we know the Bible, you know, so many different things. So we just want to, you know, share our experiences through our family, right? And help other families out.
Right.
In summation. Is that good?
I love
That's
it. And this is all good stuff. I mean, like definitely just being able to kind of, you know, balance out your life with the different, just knowing that these sounds and these vibrations exist. I often feel like some people just miss the point though, right? Like I get it. We all work every single day and every day hustle and bustle. You come home, you're tired, you're blown out, and you don't feel like, even when you think you get rest, you really don't seem to get it. I find that I have to be super intentional with taking in these sounds and taking in these vibrations. Just sitting in quiet places, sitting outside somewhere, and just really taking in inventory as to how many sounds. Like some people say, "Oh man, it's super quiet out here." Nah, if you shut up enough and you're quiet enough, I promise you will hear things out here.
Hear all kinds of things.
That's my whole thing. Like maybe explore some of that. Like if you are having issues with restlessness, it might be a good thing, a good challenge for you to kind of take on to see
and
how
being in, and Corey, being in tune with your environment is a safety thing as well. If you can
absolutely,
if you can really be in tune to the noises and sounds in your environment, it helps to protect you. So, you know, and in these days and times, a little extra protection goes a long way.
there you go.
Well, I'm very happy right now with our show, with our platform, and so I thought I would close us out with "Because I'm Happy," not the other song, you know. And again, it's our words change the world. It's how we say things,
Right.
right? So it's some of the simplicity of life. Let's not get wrapped up in, you know, in circles, but just keep it simple. Back to the basics. And I think that's what we're trying to do here. So y'all, anything else before we close it out?
Nope. I just because we're happy.
All right. and the original meaning of happy, right?
That's right. That's right.
All right, y'all. Bye, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in.
See y'all next time.
Next week for Speaking Facts in 15-ish.
Ish. That's right.